Their design is so specific, and it's so specific to their brand, right? I mean, everything about that has a purpose. Why did they choose the little plus sign? Why did they make the button raise up a certain distance? Why did they choose the material they chose? Those are all very specific decisions, and they play into the makeup of your brand. Who does this belong to? Target. So there's another element to that. That's okay. I'm not. JCPenney's is. I don't know. They're going through a major shift in their brand right now. They're in quite a bit of turmoil. I don't remember what theirs is, but expect more, pay less. Here's another element of branding, which is a tagline, right? So now we showed you marks, we showed you actual product. Now tagline. Nike. Again, no logos, no company names. You know who that is, right? Complete this. Right. Do these brands have us or what? We're controlled by these brands, right? But in reality, they've done a great job of making sure that you know who they are and you know what they stand for. Complete this one. $5. Who is that? Of course it is. Taste the rainbow. Skittles. Yeah, you guys are easy. Look at them, they've all got us, right? What do all of these companies have in common? Distinct logos?
They're memorable.
They're well known. Successful.
Household names.
Household names. They're memorable brands, right? I mean, I showed you guys just bits and pieces of the brand. If I were to do the same thing with a brand that wasn't well known, just pick any random company here in San Diego, maybe one person would know what company that was, right? But almost everybody in here knew the answers to those things. And I just showed you a tiny fraction of those brands. So what we're going to talk about today is the process of branding, right? So to get to that place, you have to go through a process of branding. And I like to tell people that branding is a mindset. It's an organizational mindset. It's not just the job of one individual. Sure, one individual may have the title of brand manager, of VP of marketing. Some person may have that title. This is my personal definition. Branding is the process of creating a unique combination of marketplace position, personality, and set of experiences for an organization so that target audiences find value with and feel a connection to the organization to the point of having preference for the products offered and a desire to tell others about their experiences. Now, there was a lot packed in there, right? But the main thing is the ultimate end game of your branding effort should be that people have a preference for what you have to offer and they want to tell other people about it. If you've done that with your branding, then you're succeeding. Okay? Anybody have any questions on this? Before we move forward? So what we're going to do today is I'm going to introduce you to some of the different components of branding, and then we're going to quickly get to a place where you're going to break out into your groups. You guys are going to come up with a couple little branding elements for your companies. And at the end, I want to invite a couple of you up to share what you come up with. Sound good? Maybe? Yeah. All right. So what do you stand to gain for that? Well, we talked a bit about that. Here's what you stand to gain. One, you're going to stand out from your competitors in the marketplace. No longer are you going to look like all the other goldfish. You'll stand out and look and sound like something different. So that's the first thing you stand to gain from branding. Separate yourself from competitors. Makes your job in selling and marketing that much easier. Second thing you stand to gain, you will naturally attract your target audience to you with less marketing, less noise. Okay? That's the second thing you stand to gain from having a solid, strong branding effort. And the third thing you stand to gain is a long-term value to your company that continues to grow over time. So the more consistent you are, the more purposeful you are, the stronger your brand becomes over time. And brand value is something that actually can be measured and they can put a dollar amount to once you have a strong enough brand. So those are the three things you stand to gain from a branding effort. It's why it's so important. Again, it makes your job easier when you're out there selling and marketing your company. Okay? All right, let's talk about the various components of a brand. Do we have any questions to this point before I go into the various components? We're good? Okay. So the first thing is, well, we have to stop stuff. Before we talk about the components of the brand, we have to talk about something else, something that we haven't talked about yet. What we're going to talk about is your target audience. First and foremost, you have to know your target audience. You have to know them extremely well. You have to have a defined target audience. Does anyone know what a target audience is? Yes?
It's who you're trying to sell your product to?
It's who you're trying to sell your product to. Do you have another answer?
People that would be interested in your product.
People would be interested in your product. Let me ask you this. Is the target audience of everybody a target audience?
It could be.
It could be. It could be. My take is if everybody's your target audience, you're going to spend a lot more money in advertising and marketing, right? Think about who McDonald's customer is.
Everybody.
McDonald's customer is everybody, right?
Common American.
Right. So how often do you see their advertising and marketing?
Everybody.
Every day, constantly, right? So that's something to keep in mind. The wider your target audience, the more marketing and advertising you have to do. The narrower, the less marketing and advertising you have to do. So it's going to behoove you to get pretty specific on your target audience, define it, so you can know them really well. Are we talking about young married couples? Is that your target audience?
No.
Senior citizens, that's a target audience. Is that who you're looking to serve? Computer engineers? Now we're getting real specific, right? We can even say female computer engineers. That's a target market. It's a very narrow target market, but chances are if that was your focus, you could speak to them very specifically, and your marketing and your language of your brand would resonate with this individual. How about busy moms? That's a target audience. So the point here is, how about pet owners? Right? So the point here is you need to define your target audience and you need to get to know them really well. And it should be a target audience that you have an affinity for. It should be a target audience that you feel personally connected to. And the people you bring on your team want and have a connection to. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
All right. So now that we've talked about that, now we've talked about the components of a brand, but I first want to make sure you guys understand, know your target audience. Have one, know them really well. Okay? The best thing to do is to not just observe your target audience, but to become your target audience.